What's going on YouTube? OCD for EDC here, and what I got for your face balls today, we're going to do a little disassembly. This is, you can see here, District 9 knives. I've already shown one of these knives. This was the Maxace Red Queen. This is Mr. LTK's knife right here. And I did some mod work to it on the pivot, backspacer, and pocket clip, as well as the pivot collar on this side. A little oil in the bag here, but so that one's already done. And then there is another knife here, the District 9 knife. And we're going to be doing some mod work to this one, and I'm pretty excited about it because it's going to be pretty cool. This knife, I've never handled one of these before. This thing is extremely well made. It feels really great in hand. Everything about this knife is very, very high quality. I'm not sure exactly what these cost. I know it's a Chinese manufactured knife, but it's got a beautiful hollow grind and just a really, really beautiful knife. Interesting pivot going on with like this copper pivot collar on both sides are actually different. And this little groove right here works well for your index finger. It just fits right in there. It's super comfortable in hand. Yeah. Really cool. So I'm going to do some cool work to this per LTK's request. Little Lee over there. He had BJ Hill do some mod work for him, and BJ does really excellent work. So go check out his channel, Hilltop Knives and Gear. I do some different things. So BJ and I collaborate from time to time on certain items. So this knife here has an interesting proprietary screw only for the pocket clip, which is kind of interesting. So you can see here, it's little 3 pins, but it came with the tool. See the screw here. Yeah. Nice hardware. Oh, that's cool. So, yeah, check that out. So not only is the clip recessed, but there's a little hole right there, a little divot, and there is a ceramic ball pressed into the back of the clip to keep the clip from rotating back and forth. That's interesting. Like I said, very, very high quality knife. I like the way they did the little retention spot on the clip as well. Really, really nice. We're going to do some cool ano work on the clip as well as the knife itself. That looks like, I don't know if that's T10. No, looks like T15. That's not one that I generally have out. Okay, now I'm back in. Had to get out the old T15. Not a normal size for pocket knives. Looks like the rest of these are T8. Yes. So you can see here that these screws are going to be screwing into the titanium, which seems to be the case on a lot of higher end knives. But these are definitely large, chunky screws, that's for sure. And just overall, super impressed with the build quality of this District 9 knife. Like I said, I'm not sure the cost of it. I'm sure it's not cheap. But there's no doubt that it is extremely well made. And, of course, it's all titanium hardware. Okay. So there's your hardware set for the District 9. And then there's also a... Okay. So we have double row loose ceramic bearings. This is number 45. Got a couple of alignment pins here, hardened steel insert, but I'm glad there was a fair amount of oil in there that kept all the bearings loose. I did bring a container to put all the hardware in. You can see this is the extra hardware that the knife shipped with, and it actually came with a pivot collar. I mean, you get an extra set of everything, which is super cool. Hardened steel insert, the pins, all the screws, stop pin. So the only thing it didn't come with are the actual ball bearings themselves. But yeah, this is pretty cool. I might do a little anodizing work on the hardware just to give them a couple options. Leave this stuff blue, and then maybe we'll do a different color as an option. Okay. Let's go ahead and lift this off. Alright, so you can see the bearing, the washer plate there, and it keeps all the balls aligned, which is fantastic. And I'm going to go ahead and dump that one off. Set that right there. So you can see here the little washer plate. It's a little machined washer. It's actually quite thick, and it keeps all of the loose bearings aligned. So you don't end up with that scenario right there where all the bearings are pushed to one side. Very nicely done. I'm going to go ahead and push out this pivot collar like that. So yeah, the hardware on this is just extremely nice. The oil is keeping all those bearings sticking to everything. All right. There we go. Got them all out. So now we'll work with that washer. Stop pin. There is the pivot screw. And hopefully we'll be able just to, hold on a second. Get a little pick here, and we'll just pop this washer off, and hopefully the balls will go with it. Piece of fuzz on there. This is just a little pick tool. And the balls did not go with it. Alright, there we go. So there are all the balls with the washers. Perfect. Alright, so now I'm going to set all the hardware along with that stuff in this container. We got a clip. Wipe some of the oil off here. The blade. It looks like T8 on the insert screw. Yep. So there's your lock insert. Oop. There's the screw. perfect. And the 2 alignment pins. And then we need to get these washers out of here, which I might have to get a magnet for because they are recessed, and there's a recessed pocket, inner and outer, that they're sitting down in, so I can't really grab them with anything other than a magnet. Can't get that out of there though. Alright. So just the surface tension of the oil that's in there is holding those bearings in. Yeah. Or I'm sorry, the washer, not the bearing. And the tolerances are so tight that I can't even get my pick down in there. So I'm going to have to get a magnet to pop those out. Ooh, actually, I have one right here. Let's see. There we go. There's one. There's the other. Perfect. I forgot I had that little magnet laying there. Excellent. So now we've got a disassembled knife that is ready for prep work, ready to do some really cool anodizing. So I will come back when this is done and we'll see what it looks like. I'm out. What's going on, YouTube? OCD for EDC here. What I got for your face balls today is some knife reassembly. Doing a little mod work here, and we're going to put some knives back together. So real quick, we're going to do the, this here happens to be the Tucson TS227, this model right here. I've actually modded a handful of these. And kind of using them as giveaways and whatnot. It's a really cool little knife. Kind of a budget model. I think you can pick these up for around 40 bucks. And 14C28N riding on ceramic bearings. And you can see here, I bead blasted the micarta, dyed this one aquamarine. I actually shaved a little bit off the handle down in this area. So, I'll throw this over. Didn't change it a lot, but a little bit down here. Just making it a little more comfortable, and it works out pretty well. So, let's go ahead and start reassembly here. Pretty cool little knife. Does have a D-shaped pivot there, which I definitely like seeing that. That's one thing that Tucson was lacking on in the past. They had a lot of free spinning pivots, but they have come around, so that is a positive thing. Get that pushed in there. So reassembly is always a fun time. Now, the backspacer on this model is G10, which I also bead blasted the G10. However, I did not dye it, and because it turned out this kind of light tan color, which I think looks kind of cool with the blue micarta or aquamarine. So I'm kind of digging the way that turned out. Make sure I got my D shape in the right orientation here. Okay, we're gonna put a little lube on there. Put a little KLP heavy on the detent track. Now this thing does have a detent ramp right there, which is really awesome. Makes for fantastic action. So, you know, now that this thing has a D-shaped pivot, that's really kind of all the tricks, if you will. and the things that make a knife just, you know, really nice to use, and you know, being a budget model is even better. It's just really cool all the way around. This thing comes with a deep carry pocket clip, which is awesome. Pocket clip works really, really well. Now this one, because it only has a liner on one side, the pocket clip is not reversible, which I'm going to go ahead and throw the pocket clip on here to hold this liner in. There we go. I just realized that the screws are different for the clip versus the body screws, so I put the wrong screw in right there. But we will get that changed out. So they have, that's something else new that Tucson is doing. So you can see right here, the round head screw is for the clip, and the square-headed screw is for the body. So I'll put the two together there. You can see the difference there. So those round-headed screws are a little bit nicer for the pocket clip. They don't stick up quite as high. And got a little oil on the micarta, but not a big deal. There we go. Almost something under there. The liner's not wanting to snap into the micarta here. Let's see what we can make happen here. Oop, dropping screws here all over the place. So hopefully everything's going well for everyone else out there. Things are good around our household other than just being extremely busy. Got a lot of work going on. My son is getting ready to leave for the Air Force here coming up really soon. So that's coming up in just a few weeks. So there we go. There's the I got the pivot way too tight. There we go. The old Tucson TS227. Cool little knife. Yeah, this one here is actually going to Mr. BJ Hill. I've shown this already. This was the Maxace Red Queen. I did some custom ano work on this for LT Lee over at LTK. Turned out really cool. Did the clip, the pivot collars on both sides and the back spacer. I did this two-tone. Looks really nice. I did a two-tone on the clip. Looks really cool. And as well on the pivot collars. So, really cool. And then I did this District 9 knife right here. So I did the flame anodizing or lightning ano, and then did it with two-tone. So you can see on the back side what it looks like there when you don't polish it. But he wanted it to look like heat was coming out of those holes. So I think we did a really nice job there. And then on the other side, I did the same thing. So you can see, and then there's also a pocket clip. And I heat anode the pocket clip as well to match the holes. So pretty beautiful knife. This is a really cool knife. This reassembly is kind of interesting, and I'm pretty sure I filmed the teardown of this knife. So yeah, I'll have to go through my video library and find out. So you may have already seen that because I will have put that first. So we'll see how that goes. But anyway, I just taped up the blade so nothing got scratched or anything. So getting that untaped. Okay, and then here's all of our hardware. When I'm doing mod work on knives, I have these little containers that I use. Put all the hardware in, and this one has got a lot of hardware because, as you can see, those are loose bearings. So actually, I'm going to grab a sheet of printer paper to set all the parts out on. Alright, actually, I'm just going to dump these out. And these bearings are actually ceramic, which is good in a couple of ways. We don't have to worry about them sticking to anything. However, that also makes it kind of a pain in the butt because you don't end up, you can't use a magnet. So, it goes both ways. There's the washers. The hardware for this knife is very interesting. Really high quality knife. Okay. Alright, so I'm just putting in the lock bar insert there. We'll set that up there. And then the pivot collar is this triangle shaped pivot collar along with the pivot screw. So that is your captured pivot right there. And then we have to throw down a steel washer. And then a bearing right there. All right, now we're going to use tweezers and place these like I said, the ceramic, you know, sometimes it's kind of nice to be able to grab these bearings with a magnet. Uh, these do still have a little oil residue on them, so you can get them to stick to your tool. But yeah, it's a little bit finicky. Nothing too terrible though. Oop. There we go. Oh. It's kind of like playing Operation here. Once we get all the bearings in, there we go. Then we'll put a little oil on there, and those will stay in a little better. There we go. Excellent. So the surface tension will hold those in. Okay, so we got our 3 body screws and a couple of alignment pins here. Excellent. So we'll go ahead and set the blade down on here. And then I'm gonna go ahead and, oop, wrong stuff. Put a little oil. We'll let it go down and around that pivot. I'm gonna use a little KPL heavy on the detent. Just like that. Okay. I know this is super, super exciting. It's the build quality on this knife is quite spectacular. I'm pretty sure these come out of the same factory as the Kevin John knives, or Venom Kevin John, if you guys are familiar with that. And those two are really, really fantastic construction. I mean, the machining work is super impressive. There we go. Just getting this lined up here. Okay. Now we need to put down our other steel washer. Ooh, son of a bitch. I forgot to oil that down. Hopefully none of those stick. Excellent. Okay. All right. There we go. Put the pivot on. That looks like a T10. Yep. Okay, now we got the pivot screw in there. We're in good shape. Drop these 3 body screws in. I think those are T8s. And they are. So you can see already here that the blade is perfectly centered. Just really, really nice construction on this thing. And I don't know exactly what this knife cost. They are definitely not cheap. That is for certain. And here is the pocket clip screw. Now the pocket clip screw has got a weird bolt pattern, or a weird pattern on it. And let me grab, it came with a little tool. Find out, yeah, here it is. So, little three prong tool here for the clip. Not really sure why, since all the rest of the screws are Torx. But one thing I will show you real quick before I put this clip on. You know, most knives do these little recessed pockets where the clip is when you only have one screw to keep the clip from moving around on you. And you can see here, there's another little hole milled in the titanium. On the bottom side of the clip here, you can see there's actually a detent ball in the clip. And yeah, so it's just, the construction quality here is just fantastic. So, very, very nicely made. And now, it most certainly is one of a kind. here. There we go. I was just getting another tool here that fit through the hole on this specialized tool for the clip, just so I can snug it down. All right, let me get this out of the way. So here we go. So we've got the bronze pivot collar. You can see there the pivot is kind of shiny, along with I polished all this in here, and you can see the light. This light isn't going to do this any justice. This type of anodizing looks so much nicer in natural light. But there we go. Some tape residue on there. Grab a little microfiber, get this all cleaned up. This thing's a beautiful knife, and was fairly challenging to do this work on it, but turned out beautiful. Action, man, it's really, really nice. Super, super smooth. Those double row ceramic bearings, really, really smooth. Detent, yeah, man, it's really, really nice. So there you go. You can see a really nice hollow ground blade. It's M390. You can see right there. Gorgeous knife. So there you go, guys. Looks pretty cool with the hardware. Yeah. There we go. So there's the District 9, the Tucson TS227, and the Maxace Red Queen. I think this was called the Red Queen, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Red Queen, I'm sorry, Red Queen 2, number 30 of 200. So, there you go. There's some custom work by yours truly. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. We'll catch you next time.